Welcome back, Waddlers, to the Waddling Truth. Tonight is a little different. This is our very first episode of Waddlers After Dark.
This is where we answer the questions people are quietly Googling at midnight, but maybe don't feel comfortable enough asking out loud.
Exactly. Every Friday, we'll take one stage of pregnancy and answer 10 of the most asked questions with facts, honesty, and a room full of real experiences.
And just a quick reminder, we're not medical professionals. This is educational, personal, and meant to make you feel less alone. Okay, first question. Is it normal to be absolutely exhausted in the first trimester? Each one of my pregnancies were different. One pregnancy, I was sick all the way to 13 weeks. Another till second trimester, all completely different symptoms. You?
Yeah, so my pregnancies, my first two were almost exactly the same, so I assumed that my third one was gonna be that way, and it was. In the beginning, it was very similar to the other two, but it wasn't until, like, the second trimester that I just got miserable. I was huge, I was swollen, I had never had a pregnancy like that, and then my fourth baby, I was sick my entire pregnancy, which I had never had before. It was absolutely miserable. I've never been that sick in my entire life, and so, yeah. Each pregnancy is very different. I will say the first trimester for me, besides my fourth pregnancy, is typically the same, but that's not true for everybody.
Okay, this one scares a lot of people. Is cramping normal in the first trimester?
So mild cramping can be totally normal. Your uterus is growing and ligaments are stretching.
The key word is mild. Severe pain, especially on one side, or heavy bleeding associated with clotting should always be checked out.
And the reason being is because they're concerned for ectopic pregnancies. And typically, if you have an ectopic pregnancy, you'll start feeling cramping really strongly on one side or the other. And it's not like normal cramping. I've had cramping with every single one of my pregnancies, and it got pretty bad at some points, like to where I was very concerned, but it was never to one side.
Well, the topic that you're talking about, it is described as a tearing pain. So when you get that pain in your side, it's actually you actually, from what I've been told, you can actually feel the tube stretching and tearing. So that's why when you go to the ER and you're telling you're having lower cramping, they're going to ask you what side, and they're going to say, "Is it cramping or is it like a tearing pain?" And the people that have gone through it, they know exactly what that pain is, and it's not something that you would differentiate with cramping. It's like a tearing, unbearable pain.
It sounds awful, and I'm sorry for anybody who's gone through that. I do wanna mention, though, just because it's not in this episode, but you do get a round ligament pain in the first trimester, or at least I did. It typically starts, I think, for a lot of people later in the first trimester or early second trimester, and it happened to me a lot. If I sneezed, I would get, like, a just the worst pain. Like, somebody's stabbing a knife into you and twisting it. Yeah, that's what round ligament pain feels like. But I got it if I, like, turned too fast in bed or got out of bed too quickly or if I sneezed. So that is very different than, like, the cramping, the ectopic cramping. So the ectopic cramping, from my understanding, is a constant cramping.
And the ligament pain seems to come on earlier with each pregnancy too.
And
So,
very suddenly,
yeah,
very suddenly.
wait until you get that sciatica.
The sciatica is bad too, but I swear round ligament pain for me is the worst. It really is, it's awful. So let's talk about nausea. How much is normal?
Unfortunately, it ranges. Some people feel queasy, some throw up occasionally, and some struggle all day long.
It's linked to the rising pregnancy hormones, especially HCG, and it doesn't only happen in the morning, like the morning sickness.
Because it's a lie.
Yeah, no, it's awful. We literally just did an episode about this, so if you guys are wanting to hear all about morning sickness, I'm going to refer you to the episode previous to this one.
And if you have any tips for our moms, drop them down below. We'd love to read them.
Absolutely. Plus, everybody's got tips and tricks, and I'm telling you, when I was going through it with every pregnancy, I was looking at all of them and trying them all. So if you've got one, leave it down below.
This question comes up all the time. Is it normal not to feel pregnant yet?
Yes, some people don't have strong symptoms in the first trimester, and that doesn't mean anything is wrong.
Lack of symptoms doesn't mean lack of pregnancy.
Absolutely.
And honestly, sometimes in your first trimester, people confuse symptoms with something else. I know that with one of my pregnancies, I thought it was COVID because the symptoms are almost the same. And there's some people that will think that they have the flu and they end up being
Yeah.
pregnant. So you might experience these symptoms, you just don't know what it is.
Okay. Can stress or emotions affect the baby.
Everyday stress and emotional ups and downs are normal, they're not harmful.
Long term extreme stress can impact overall health, but feeling emotional and overwhelmed or anxious is sometimes just part of pregnancy.
Guilt over emotions is not helpful and very common.
I think there's people who experience an extreme loss in pregnancy who stress that their emotions and everything is affecting their pregnancy. To those people who are experiencing like hardships or tragic instances that happen in your pregnancy, to our waddlers, I want you to know that it's okay. You can feel the feelings. I think suppressing the feelings is actually worse than just feeling the feelings. So I was always told like not to feel the feelings, but in turn, I personally think that actually made it worse. So my advice is to just feel the feelings, let the suck happen, and get through it the best that you can. You're doing a great job.
And pregnancy does not last forever.
It does not, no. And your baby will be okay.
Yes. Okay, let's talk food. What should you be eating in that first trimester?
Ideally, hydration, protein, iron, folate, which I don't even know what folate is, and prenatal vitamins. That's ideally.
But realistically, eating what you can tolerate matters more than eating perfectly, especially with nausea.
Yeah, my first was made out of Cheetos, so it's okay. Survival mode is allowed. Trust me, I don't think it's much of an option. I think you just are in survival mode, so good luck. It does end. The pregnancy nausea, the first trimester, it is not forever. I know when you're in it, it feels like a lifetime, but you're doing a great job. It will end, and I won't say you miss it because I don't. But it is a part of it, and everything worth doing is gonna suck. Everything.
Yep.
If it doesn't suck, I feel like it's just too easy. Like, people like a challenge, and this is just a challenge. And
And then we forget about it, we do it again 5 times or 4 times.
literally. I literally had an unmedicated birth, my first, and it traumatized me so bad, and, yeah, like, 6 months later, I was like, "I could probably do that again."
I could do that again. I forgot all about it.
What pain? I don't remember any pain. Did you see how cute she is? Anyways, this one causes panic. Is spotting normal?
Light spotting can be normal, especially from implantation, sex, or exams, or overexertion.
Okay. Um We do also have an episode on this as well, but heavy bleeding, severe pain, or clots should always be checked by your provider. Or if you don't have a provider, go ahead and go to the emergency room. You can always go to urgent care as well, but I do believe that they'll probably just send you to the emergency room.
When should you tell people that you're pregnant?
There's no rule. There's no rule when to tell somebody. Some tell people immediately, some wait until after the first trimester. I think for me personally, told everybody immediately. Like, I
Mhm.
just can't keep a secret.
I agree. I did the same thing. I just was like, you know what? I'm going to celebrate it for however long I have it, and then if something happens, at least I know I have somebody there. I've done it to where I didn't tell anybody, and then I've had it to where I did. Personally, I think if you can use your support system, use them. So the right time is when you feel safe, supported, and ready. So that can mean as soon as you pee on the stick or after you find out the gender, whatever makes you feel comfortable.
I think after my 3rd, I felt more reluctant to tell people just because of how judgy everybody is.
Mhm,
Especially, like, I would wait until I found out if it was a boy or a girl because I just didn't wanna hear the whole gender situation.
mhm.
But what is the biggest misconception about the first trimester?
That it's magical and exciting.
Who said that? Nobody. Nobody said that. Who said that? For many people, it's exhausting, emotional, isolating, and hard, and that's normal.
You don't have to love every second to be grateful.
It's true. It really is difficult, but it was well worth it. I would do it 5 times again for my kids. I won't, but I would.
I would never do it again. I love my babies. I'll have somebody else do it for me.
If you're in the first trimester listening to this late at night, we see you.
You're not behind, you're not doing it wrong, and you're not alone.
Join us next Friday's day for Waddlers After Dark, where we'll dive into the second trimester.
And send us your questions, anonymous or not, we're here for all of it.
Thanks for listening to the Waddling Truth.
Bye. Bottles out.
Waddlers out.